so they seems to have support of Bulgarians and perhaps also Italians. Yes, there may be some Italians down there. They all got a similar color. Just to check, are those very light sort of, I don't know the English name for them, but these, yes, indeed they are Siankang troops. Must have joined the Comintern. Now Romania have joined the Axis as well. Just look at this. It's almost a perfect partition of the Balkans. Look, this area have got to go to the Bulgarians. Here the Germans, and this piece with most of Greece. Crete is still independent, but with most of Greece belonging to the Italians. So that's how it is. Looks like zoomed out. Have British have invaded Tunisia. It can happen. No, but let's look at allies. Germany got the following allies: Finland, Slovakia, Hungary, Romania, Bulgaria, Italy, Vichy France, Japan and all their puppets. They have gotten this far into Burma. I don't know why, but they usually never go past this. This seems to be completely impossible to pass, since it's only 10% infrastructure that makes it impossible to cross. So this seems to like the only way, and it's defended by a river. But they never in games seems to actually pass through this. Never. They're afraid of water, I believe. Anyway, back to Russia. Let's see how much the Germans got and in what theaters they have. Same with Russia. They got 3 theaters, which is pretty small actually. There are pretty few can have a large army still. And so in Berlin we got 353,000. In Krakow, which is the eastern front, they got 812, which is half of the enemy's estimated power. But if that can be trusted or not, that's up to debate. But one thing is certain, they got 812,000 with 353 in the western front. In Oslo, they got 40,000 men. Now, what about the Soviets? So, also if you look at the manpower, the Germans got 1,157, so it has decreased from the 1,600 they once had, with a monthly gain of 56. Going back to the Soviets, they got 5,188 manpower with a monthly gain of 65. It's a bit better than the Germans, and they also got the Great Patriotic War. But that's almost like at least 4, almost 5 times more manpower than what Germany got. So the Soviets will not be defeated by them running out of men. No, that will not happen. The only way to defeat the Soviets is through military force. And if that will happen, that will the Germans decide. The German base manpower is 1,293. For the Soviets it's 1,313. So that's pretty close. Only a difference of 20, isn't it? Yes. Let's keep going. Singapore has fallen. It's a disaster for the British. Not really. So what is the surrender progress for the Soviet Union right now? Well, do what you can to calm things down. The surrender progress. At 3540, 28 and 2% of their important cities occupied, with a national unity of 79 and 5%. Yes. They are third on the way to surrender, but a third of the way to surrender is commonplace in an Operation Barbarossa. We need to pass the threshold of at least 2/3 or 3/4. Then you can talk about actually succeeding. Many Germanys have tried, many Germanys have failed, only few have succeeded. Depending on if it's the player or AI playing. Both have succeeded and failed though. What this will be, we will have to see. Or this Germany, A winner or a loser? Can't do anything than to watch them try. I'm not imagining things when I think I'm seeing the German line being pushed back. That are not actually Polish, are they? Are those British in Poland right now? How can they possibly? Are they militia, so they had to be resistance fighters doing an uprising? Well, that actually succeeded for once. But in other bad news, it seems like already in 42 the German line has collapsed. That's a shame for the German, and if you believe their propaganda, for the peace and stability of Europe. If you don't believe it, well, perhaps it's a good thing then. The uprising in Poland is falling. It did provide a great distraction for the Germans, though. I believe the Soviets are thankful for that. What's happening in Asia? My suspicions have been confirmed. As always, they are doing nothing. Who could have thought about that? So back to Europe then. Has Portugal invaded Spain from the east coast yet? No. Well, just wait. They're planning for it. Romania has turned into a new front. German troops in the Leningrad province are risking to be cut off if they lose their connection between the rest of Germany and the Leningrad province through Estonia. If they do, the only path is through the sea, which will be problematic. A line connection is always better. Who is that in Romania? Are those Bulgarians? Seems to be Bulgarians, but it seems to be all kind of green troops down there. Bulgarians, Hungarians, whichever seems to fit. They're all down there. Well, I must say, an uprising in the Netherlands for that matter, but overall this is a a very failing Germany. I don't think it ever goes this bad for Germany. It must be on some kind of record. They're about to get cut off in Estonia right now. Through the above the capital of Latvia, Riga. If that happens, the Germans up there and their allies will have a problem, and the Finnish will likely lose to the invading Soviets up there. It's only been half a year since I checked stats, I believe, but seems a good time now again, since what actually have happened and how the fronts have changed since last time. What is actually the cause of this? Can we actually see that in the stats? First was the surrender progress. It's 2080, 16.6 of the important cities occupied, with a national unit of 79 and 6. Well, the surrender progress appears to have lowered, which is not strange since they have been pushed back. They are now at their original border in Poland almost, at least down here. They have been pushed far away from Kiev. They were once in Odessa, in a straight line between Leningrad and Odessa, which was pretty impressive, but not anymore. What's the cause of it? For the theaters, they have stayed the same. For Krakow is 738,000. Now, how much? They got a small advantage, but I believe actually since the last time, the Soviet advantage in the ratio against the Germans have lowered. They're more equal now, but still they have pushed back the German, despite despite having a better ratio. I don't remember. Was it 800,000 or was it 600,000? The Germans had last time, half a year ago in April or whenever it was. But despite the better ratio, it can be that the quality of the German troops have been declining, losing their organization, despite having lots of numbers. Let's check if this actually may be the case. Let's take these. The 79 Infanterie Division. Well, it was a bad example. It's a reserve unit, but it's got full manpower and organization. Let's check around. That engineer brigade got 1/3 of the organization, the full organization. This one got half. That seems to be the case. So I can't even select. That seems to be on 2/3. I can just select all of them. Here we see there's in the most of them there seems to be a pretty high organization, so that doesn't seem to be the fault. Is the case the same down here? Yes, it's the same. Most units have high organization. This almost seems the perfect organization. And there's Rommel fighting on the Eastern Front. Is that a German with a gun riding and firing? Yes, now we have seen everything. Now, the Soviet side. What's the difference? Here's the theaters of the Soviets. I don't remember, did I actually show them last time? Maybe I didn't. Did I even show them at all? Perhaps I didn't. Well, at least, no, I probably didn't. But at the Smolensk headquarters, which is the Soviet headquarters for their Western Front, or for overall the Eastern Front, their power ratio is probably as equal as it possibly can be. They're going for everything around here. We got 1,467,000 men. 1,467,000 men. That's twice as much as the Germans. But it's still actually pretty small. Because in some cases, because now we have a 2-to-1 ratio in favor of the Soviets, but sometimes the Soviets can actually have a 3-to-1 ratio, meaning 3 times more troops than the Germans, having close to 2 million men. That's not the case. So that's good for Germany. But it still seems to be that the Germans are not winning, so that advantage is not helping. Well, it may make it not even harder though. But the Germans still have a problem, even with a more lenient and friendly, I guess, a more compassionate Soviet Union, not throwing literally everything they got at them. But still, a bad situation and a problem. How, if they even can, will the Germans deal with this? They probably can't, but that's up for them to resolve. I'm just observing. They only got an expected conqueror to aid them right now, but they pushed Luxembourg away and annexed them, so it's their fault. What? What? The fall of Sydney. No, this is rare enough. I will read it. Actually read it. Expanding on its conquest in the south, the Empire of Japan has taken Sydney in Australia. After offering stubborn resistance at the docks, the remaining Australian defenders retreated across the Sydney Harbour Bridge and assumed new position on Observatory Hill. An attempt by engineers to demolish the bridge fails, and the hill is finally taken by the Japanese after a costly frontal assault. The Japanese war flag now hangs from Sydney Town Hall, the headquarters of the city's new military administration, and the Thai military police maintain a watchful eye on the streets. Will the Australians recover? Watch on the next episode of the Observer game. Would actually be fun to cut the video off there, but well, we have to see about that in the editing. But let's go over to Australia to see what actually have happened. Impressively enough, they seem to have taken most of New Zealand. Well, I don't think they have had much to really resist with. But in the case of Australia, which the event was about, they have actually only taken Sydney. And they did that with 3 marine brigades and 1 engineer. And there isn't a single Australian division brigade in sight, except that one in Canberra, which is only a headquarters. This is Australia, please come and invade us. We would like to give you Sydney for free without any resistance at all. Please come here. No. Or yes in their case, but if I had to say, I would say no. But democracy and all, they got to choose for themselves. Anyway, back to the actually important part of the war. How will the Eastern Front go? Will Luxembourg revive from the ashes and will conquer them all? That's the question. The Soviet ants in their latest offensive push hard against the German and their allied ants. Because that is what it looks like, isn't it? Only a huge war of ants from up here. Strange square ants with strange symbols on them, making reference to a future thing known as a NATO. But at this time, no one knows what it actually is. Still not cut off in Estonia. But they have gone down in Romania though, but not very far. They have lost most of the front outside Romania though, and will soon enter the country itself. Let's check back to Australia for a short moment. There they got 3 marines, 3 marines and 3 marines. So they got 3 divisions of 3 marines and 1 engineer each. That against the non-existent Australian army ensures the victory of the Japanese. The Australians are not really even trying to fight back, unless they can actually somehow get their ships up on land and fire torpedoes on their land-driven submarines. If only they could do that. But it's their fault for investing in the wrong sort of military. The Pentagon is finished. I wonder if it can be used as a weapon. Cutting it down into bricks, loading it onto bomb planes and dropping them on the heads of the Germans. Otherwise it seems pretty useless as a weapon.